Hey fellow vapors, welcome to my channel, Bori Vapes. I'm Sergio and today we're going to be talking about another box mod. What box mod? Not just any box mod. We're talking about the IPV Mini version 2. The IPV version 2 came out not too long ago. We're going to be talking about this box mod. We're going to be talking about specifications on it, and then we're going to compare it to the IPV Mini version 1. So, comes in a nice box. Comes with an instruction manual. It's going to have your specifications. And inside this manual, you're also going to have the comparison on the specifications from the IPV Mini version 1 to the IPV Mini version 2. At the up close, we'll show you the booklet. And here we have the IPV Mini version 2. And this IPV Mini version 2 is not just any IPV Mini version 2. This is actually a souvenir 2015. We're going to take a close look so you can see exactly what it looks like. Okay, here we go. See, it's got the go ahead. The IPV Mini version 2 comes in two versions. You have the souvenir 2015 with the go ahead, and then you're gonna have one that doesn't have the go ahead and it doesn't say souvenir 2015. And inside the box, we're gonna have the quality of control. Okay, quality control pass 02 inspection. Okay, so we're gonna be putting these things inside the box again. We'll talk about this a little later on. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about the specifications right now. Okay. The IPV Mini version 1 I have with me. Also, I have the version 2. We're going to be doing a comparison. The IPV Mini version 2 goes from 5 watts to 70 watts. It has, it shoots down to a 0.2 ohms all the way to 3.0 ohms. And the chip inside this, it's a real good chip too. It's the Yeehee SX330 version 2C chip. Now, let's talk about protection on this mod. This mod has the same protection as the version 1 has. It has low voltage protection, low resistance protection, high input voltage warning. It has output shortage circuit protection. It has reverse battery protection and temperature overheat protection. I put this mod through a test. I did a very hot build. I think it was, I did a 0.3 build, but because it was so warm when I was firing it for over like 8-9 seconds, I had to take it off and do a different kind of build, even though it was 0.3, because it was so hot. The mod was so hot and the battery that it said on the display, too hot. So take in mind that when you guys do builds, like chain coil builds, or the Clapton coil, then the Clapton coil and the chain coil builds, you can put on a mod like this, but just don't fire it for too long of a time. You know, take your time. You know, let the mod, you know, mellow for a while. You know, don't chain vape on them, even if you got the right ohms on it, because it's gonna say too hot. It's not gonna fry the chip. It's gonna say too hot, and then you won't be able to use it for about 15-20 seconds because it's waiting for the chip to actually cool down. So just take in mind on that. We're gonna I'm gonna put an atomizer on this right now so you can see exactly how it fires. So right now I'm putting on here the Mutation X version 3. It's 5 clicks to turn on. Let me juice this up a little bit. It's a good thing it has a wide bore drip tip, so that can drip right from top. Okay, we're going to be doing this at 30 watts. 30 watts, and it's 0.2 ohms, and it has 2.6 volts. Just so that you guys can see how this fires. As a matter of fact, I have here a dual coil parallel build with 10 wraps each. This is, I believe, is 26 gauge. Yeah. Look at that, 30 watts. Let me take out the cap on this. Look how this fires. Fires beautiful. That's 30 watts. 30 watts. You know what? Let me bring down to 20 watts. Let's see what 20 watts can do on this. A lot of people don't believe this, but this mod is powerful. 20 watts. Look at that. 25 watts. 30 watts. 40 watts. Juice this up a little bit more. Bringing juice over here. 55 watts. Look at that. It's a champ. Let me boost this up because I usually don't vape on this over 55 watts, but just for me to show you, 60 watts. Look at that, 60 watts. Now let me boost it up all the way to 70 watts. Look at that, 70 watts. Let me show you up close, 70 watts. Look how this champ fires. So as you see, she puts out good power. Let me bring that back down to 55 watts because I don't really do more than that. That's honestly more than enough for me. Now I'm using the General. This juice is great, General. Full-on flavor. It's from a company called Epicus Nebula. Really good juice. Nice and thick. Let's take a toke on this. Woo! Some Good juice. It's really good. Really good. So now let's talk about comparison this to the IPV Mini version 1. The IPV Mini version 1 comes with also a Yihi chip, but this chip is the SX130 chip. It goes from 5 watts to 30 watts, and it shoots down to a 0.5 ohms, all the way up to 3 ohms. So the version 1 only went down to a 0.5. This one goes down to a 0.2. Even though the version 1 says it goes down to 0.5, honestly, I fired it at 0.4. That's as far as it goes. But the version 2, I love it. I love the version 1, don't get me wrong. The version 1 was good. It's just sometimes we want to, go down to a 0.2 rather than 0.5. For people like me who love to sub-ohm, blow massive clouds. I'm also a flavor chaser on that. But yeah, let's talk about the functions on this IPV Mini version 2. The IPV Mini version 2 is 5 clicks to turn on and 5 clicks to turn off. It has 5 memory functions that when you press the wattage up, it comes with preset wattage on that, which you can put your own presets on them. So let's say I'm going to memory 1. Memory 1, I have it at 20 watts. If I don't want it at 20 watts and I want it, let's say, do 10 watts, what I do is I go to the memory 1, press the down button 1 time, choose on what wattage I want. Let's say I want it at 10 watts, so I'm going to bring it at 10 watts. Click the fire button 1 time, and it's locked into memory 1. Okay? Another function that this has that the IPV Mini version 1 had, but they took it out on the version 2, was that the IPV Mini version 1, when you press the wattage up and the wattage down button, on the version 2, now it locks. It goes on locking mode. On the version 1, when you press the power up and the power down, the wattage up, wattage down button at the same time, it went into mobile mode. And what is mobile mode? Well, I'm going to show you what mobile mode was. Mobile mode, basically, you take off your atomizer, put that down, and you screw on top of here an adapter that doesn't come with it, and Pioneer for You doesn't sell it either. You have to go on websites to look for it. And basically, it's an IPV Mini version 1 mobile adapter. And it's round. You screw it in your 510. Once you screw it in your 510, it comes with a USB port, and it's for charging your cell phone. The only downside with that is that while you're charging your cell phone, you got nothing to vape on. Really sucks, doesn't it? So that means you're like almost obligated that in case your cell phone is dying, while you're charging your cell phone on your mod, you gotta walk around with a second mod. Who wants that? Let me take a toke. That was good. So that was the only thing bad about the version 1, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there that has the version 1 has never bought the mobile adapter. Just like I didn't buy the mobile adapter. Doesn't make no sense. So they took it off the version 2. What they did was they did without that function, and now when you press the wattage up and wattage down button, you go into locking mode, and then to unlock it, you press it again, and it unlocks it. Now, when you go into locking mode on the IPV Mini version 2, nothing works. I'm going to lock this. I'm going to put my atomizer on it. It's in locking mode. It says, please unlock. So nothing is working, nothing. What you can do is, while you have it in locking mode, you can press the fire button 5 times where it says, please unlock, and it's going to shut off on you. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. System off. Now it's off and it's locked. Now when you want to turn it on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See the Pioneer for You logo, the IPV Mini version 2 on there, and when you press the fire button, it's still locked. So that's a good thing about it. So now we're going to just unlock it, and there you go. Look at that, 10 watts. Good flavor. Let's look at the batteries. It takes one 18650 battery, and on the bottom you're going to notice also that it has the USB mini charging port. That's where you would charge the IPV Mini version 2. It's a long tube inside that. And you're going to have your serial number on the bottom screw-on cap for the battery. Let's put the battery back on. Just be a little careful when you're putting these batteries back on. When you're putting the cover back on, you want to make sure that it catches good threads, because it is a little tricky to put on the battery cover. You don't want to cross thread it and mess it up. Okay? Now let's take off this atomizer again. We're going to look at the 510 pin on it. And I'm going to show you guys something. Okay? Got a little juice on that. The 510 thread pin on this, I'm going to take it up close so you can see. It's a screw in there, but you don't screw it in and screw it out because it's spring loaded. So there's no need whatsoever to turn that screw at all. Okay, guys? You don't need to. It's spring loaded. Anything and everything you put on, this mod is gonna fit flush and perfect. Let's put the atomizer back on here. Now guys, we're going to take a dive down, and I'm going to show you guys on a comparison the version 1 versus the version 2. Everything is almost the same. The only thing is the functionality on the difference between the version 1 and version 2. So let's take a dive down and check it out. Alright, so we're here at the dive down. We're going to look at the IPV Mini version 1 versus the IPV Mini version 2. And as you can see in the front of the IPV Mini version 1 that they did different from the IPV Mini version 2 is that the IPV Mini version 1 had sort of like a glass display. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can still see, you know, the stuff, but it has sort of like a glass type of screen. I mean, you can literally look at yourself on the display area. And the IPV Mini version 2, it's not glass. I mean, it shines, but it's a black display on it. And even though it's a black display, when you press the button, turn this on right here for a second. IPV Mini version 1, or version 2 that is, sorry. You can still see good on it. So now let's look at both. You see? The display is still crispy clean. So they took out the glass from the version 1 and they made it just completely black on version 2. Now let's look on the side where the IPV Pioneer for You logo is. If you can see well, the IPV logo on this, it doesn't have the go ahead on it, and the Souvenir 2015 has the gold heads on it. So that's the difference. Okay. On the bottom, they still have the vent holes. So they didn't take away the vent holes that goes to the battery on it. They kept the same amount of vent holes. They both do USB port charging on it. Okay. And the battery on the IPV Mini version 1, if you can see this good, the style on this has very well ridges, so it was like better for opening and closing, you know. And on the version 2, it still has some ridges, but not as good for gripping. So I would say that's a con on the version 2 versus the version 1. That they should have left the ridges because it's easier. See, better gripping for opening and closing with no problem. But the version 1, it's like kind of slippery a little bit. So I'll say that would be a con. They should have left the ridges on it very well and fine for easy adjustability for opening and closing the door, no problem. Another con is that when you take off the battery cap, I just don't like that that you have to really feel for the. So this one catches a little bit better, but I find it a little bit harder on the IPV Mini version 2. That the threads on it, you have to really find it, go in reverse until you catch it, and then see, like sometimes it goes sideways, and that's what I don't like about it sometimes. So like I said, when you put on these battery caps, you have to really be careful because you don't want to cross thread them. Once they catch nice and good. That's the version 1. Now this is the version 2. Take off the battery cover over here. Okay, to put it back on. I find this one a little more difficult than the version 1. So once it catches, you know, put it on, but it feels slippery. Like, it's really slippery. That's the thing with that. Now let's get into the 510 connection. The 510 pin on this, on version 1 versus version 2. This is version 1. Spring loaded, okay. Version 2. Spring loaded. So they did a real good job, and they decided, you know what? If it's not broken, don't fix it. They left the spring loaded 510 on that, which is great. I'm happy. Like I said, these pins, they look like screws that you adjust. Do not try to adjust it by spinning the screws. These are spring-loaded screws. Any atomizer you put on that, it's going to fit nice and flush. As you can see over here, the design for the version 1, as far as the body, and the version 2 of the body, they both exact. I mean, they perfectly. I mean, they're exactly the same body, same shape, same size. Okay, it's the same mod, basically all the way around. See the bottom? Both exactly the same. USB port charge. They say that the IPV Mini version 1, that even though you can vape on it and charge it at the same time, which is called pass-through, the company tells you don't do it, even though it does work, because it might mess up the chip or whatever. But guess what? I've used the IPV Mini version 1 while vaping. I have done with pass-through, so maybe I'm the lucky one that nothing has ever happened to the chip. But I've used it many times that way with the pass-through, never had a problem. The IPV Mini version 2, they tell you that the pass-through does work. So you can vape and you can charge at the same time. Well, regardless if they told me not to do it, I was going to do it anyway. I mean, because the version 1 did it, why not do the same thing on the version 2? So the IPV Mini version 2, the pass-through does work. I've heard many occasions where people have had the USB port adapter to charge your phone, and you put it on mobile on, and to charge your phone, and it automatically starts charging on its own. Like, you don't have to press a button to turn on and off or whatever. It just like automatically just does it. And when the phone is fully charged, then it just stops on its own. I've heard of people putting the atomizers on them while leaving it on mobile on by mistake and it firing. Honestly, when you have it on mobile on, okay, I'm just gonna show you real quick. I have an atomizer right here. Matter of fact, let me use the Atlantis. I'm just gonna show you real quick. I don't put my Mutation X because my Mutation X is at a 0.2. It's not gonna fire in the IPV Mini version 1. So let me turn this on because I did take off the battery cover. Turn this one on just in case also. Okay, so it's at 30 watts. You see, it's firing. Now I'm gonna put on mobile mode on. And it's on mobile mode. Do you hear any firing? I've heard of people saying that it fires. And I think they full of crap. So it's on mobile mode. See, mobile on. It's not firing. I could press the button, any button, and it's not firing. So those people that make that as a con where you're charging a phone and it's firing your atomizer, no, it's not true. It doesn't fire. Okay, so I'm gonna take it off. Mobile mode is off. So now 30 watts. Okay, so that's the IPV Mini version 1. The IPV Mini version 2, when you press both buttons at the same time, it just locks it up completely. Put on this atomizer over here so I can fire something. So it's unlocking mode. Please unlock. It's begging you. It's begging you to unlock him. He wants to vape. So it doesn't fire. So when you put it in your pocket, you're 100% confidently sure that this device is not going to fire in your pocket whatsoever unless you unlock it. So you're going to press the wattage up and wattage down and it's unlocked. Let me bring this up to 20 watts because the lowest. See how fast those increments go up? They go up by 0.1 increments. It's locked in there at 20 watts. Yeah. Let me vape on this a second. Excuse me. That was good vapor. 0.2. See the build on that? It's nice. Beautiful build. Campfires. That's at 20 watts. Amazing, huh? So let's take it back to FaceTime and we'll vape on it, talk on it, and that's about it. Alright guys, so we're back here to finalize the IPV Mini version 2. And I'm gonna say, and I'm not, and I can't stress this enough when I see people putting online how they've been burning themselves because they decide to buy expensive mods and they're cheap on batteries. And I, for one, do not spend a lot of money on my mods to then buy cheap batteries. You guys have to be using the safest batteries, high drain batteries. I personally, on the IPV Mini version 2, like on this one, I have an EFES 2500 milliamp battery, IMR 18650. This one has 35 amps, very safe to use, very long lasting. I've never had a problem with them. And the IPV Mini version 2, just like the IPV Mini version 1, do not use nipple batteries because they will not, and I can't express this enough, they will not fit on your mod. You have to get flat tops, positive always up, negative on the bottom. Put on this the battery cover on it. Five clicks to turn on. So the IPV Mini version 2 fires down to a 0.2. If you do a 0.1 build on it, it will not fire. 0.2 is the lowest that you can go, all the way up to 3.0 ohms. And basically, that's all I have for you guys today. So, I definitely recommend this mod. It goes to 70 watts. One thing I don't like about the mod is that because it goes to 70 watts, and you can boost it up to 70 watts no matter the build that you have on there, as long as it's anywhere from 0.2 to 3.0 ohms. The battery will die on you and you will not be able to vape for a long time. So if you do let's say a 1 ohm build and you're vaping at 25 watts, then you will have good battery life. But if you have like what I have on here, a 0.2, and you're vaping at 40, 50, 55 watts, the battery is going to last maybe, and I'm not talking about chain vaping. If you're going to chain vape, maybe an hour, hour and a half at the most, if you chain vape. But if you're going to work and you're going to put atomizer, like if I would put my Atlantis on it, I could get a half a day of work vaping on this with no problem. Just make sure you carry your USB charging cable with you so you can charge it in case the battery goes low. And it actually charges pretty quick. It actually charges pretty quick, a little faster than than the version 1. I think the version 1 it charges pretty slow. I mean, to my knowledge, but the version 2 charges pretty quick. No problems on that. And that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you for watching. I really truly sure appreciate it that you're watching my channel. If you like my channel, please subscribe to it. Share it on Facebook, share it with your friends, share it on any social media network. Get me out there. Let me take one last talk before we finish this video. Thank you for watching Bori Vapes. And remember, if you're a smoker, or if you're a part-time smoker and you're vaping at the same time, there's no need to. Stay away from those cigarettes. Those cigarettes are cancerous. Keep on vaping. It's a little costly, but you know what? What's a few dollars that you're gonna spend from your pockets if this is actually gonna save your life versus cigarettes? And cigarettes are gonna kill you. It's a guaranteed death. It's a slow death, but it's a guaranteed death. And remember, guys, I'm gonna put a link in my description for you guys to go into www.casa.org. It's www.casaa.org, and register. If you're a fellow vapor, register on casa.org, and everyone's going to appreciate it because we all have to fight the fight. All these states right now are talking about regulating e-juice. Some states like New York, that's where I'm from, Bushwick baby in the house. They're talking about getting rid of flavor e-juice. No, they're looking to in every state there's people out there that from the government that wants to shut down vaping, period. We have to stick together like brothers that we are and sisters, and we have to fight the fight all these people that are in Congress that they're trying to stop the vaping. And this will save your life. If you're a smoker, get into vaping. You're going to enjoy it. You don't have to add nicotine to it if you don't want to. For those people that love vaping, I know a lot of people that vape with zero nicotine. My wife is one of them. And you can just enjoy the flavor, enjoy the vapor. It goes well with drinks too. And that's all I got for you guys. Take care. Again, from Bori Vapes, my name is Sergio. Peace. Love you guys. Fight the good fight.